Welcome back to Modern Endpoint Talk here. We have Florian with us. Welcome, Florian.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
So very nice to meet you in almost person.
Yeah, definitely.
So I read a lot about your blog posts, etc., that you post in the Modern Endpoint LinkedIn group, and I must say it's really, really quality you get in your blogs.
Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, so talented. You're very talented.
Thank you.
So Florian,
nice to hear.
I would like to start by introduce yourself, your name, age, and stuff. Where do you live? Maybe personal status.
Yeah, of course. My name is Florian Salzmann. It's a German name from the German part of Switzerland. I live in the city of Wil. That's like half an hour from Zurich Airport. I live there with my best friend. I'm single, but we have a great flat and have a good time together. My age is 25 years. So yeah, that's in short myself.
So young and have a lot of time to actually blog and get better at IT, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a lot of time. Great to dig into some topics, to test out some things. Yeah, definitely.
So I guess you've not been very much years in the business, but could you tell me when did you start the IT business?
Yeah, I started actually like this summer 10 years ago. So
wow,
it's not too less. Yeah, in Switzerland we have like apprenticeship. You can start directly after the mandatory school part, and that was in my case at the age of 15. So yeah, I started there in IT first in a support organization for a private cloud. There we hosted Citrix with virtual desktop, hosted Exchange, and other public services for many customers. And from there on, I moved to Office 365, which was called in the earlier days. This was like, I would say, 7 or 8 years ago. They're only with Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and these kind of tools. It wasn't everything shiny and nice, but it started to get better and better, and we tried to invest in that part because for us it was clear at some point our host Exchange infrastructure is getting too expensive and customers will move out. So we had an eye on that.
Oh, very nice. So you've been working with quite some technologies here.
Yeah. Was
a
head start and great to go into these topics. Yeah, I had a really wide variety of things where I was able to start with. And yeah, after that, I moved on and started to go deeper into the Microsoft 365 platforms, like with the early stage of Intune, because we had a client management solution which we provided our customers. I wasn't very happy with that. So my goal was to see if Intune is at that point wide enough to go deeper and do wider deployments. So it took some more time than expected, but I would say like in the last 4 or 5 years, the progress was very steep, and yeah, now we are able to do very large deployments with that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you mentioned, and I can almost hear that you work as a consultant.
Yeah, now I do. Yeah, I started as like apprenticeship, and then I worked as a system engineer, and now in our consulting team. Actually, I'm with the same company for the whole 10 years, but switched teams several times, and now we're like called the solutions team, where the consultant and the whole MEM part is.
Yeah, that's excellent, and I like hearing that you had a deployment system and you didn't like that, and of course you went to Microsoft Intune.
Yeah, of course, there's no other solution.
I mean, Gartner just awarded it with the best tool, MDM tool in.
Yeah, I saw that at the beginning of the week. Yeah.
So I guess something about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also wide. You can manage your phones and your Windows desktops and your Mac OS devices and Androids, and yeah, what's not to like?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, right.
It's a good expression, right?
Perfect. Yeah. I will use that in the future.
Yeah, no, I normally say that about config manager, but because
of course, there you have a lot more.
You have a lot more capabilities, but
Yeah.
the product is also very much older and have been on the market for many years. So I guess Intune will eventually come after that, but it will never be the same because Intune is simplicity. It's a simple tool to do simple operations. And if you have all sorts of advanced stuff you need, then either you need to build it yourself or you have to go back to on-prem.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's how it is.
But that makes the challenge interesting.
It does, and yes, you can do a lot of stuff with Azure infrastructure and log analytics if you want data and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I believe that Intune will it will eventually take over for config manager, but it takes time.
Yeah, definitely. There are still a lot of organizations which rely on-premise. So
yeah, not everyone is allowed to go to the cloud, etc. So lots of stuff still to do in a on-prem world.
Yeah.
So as a consultant in living in the solution team, I guess there's a lot of hours in that. How is that a normal day job, and then you do some more hours in the evening, or how is that?
It depends on what project you are. It can be a normal day job. It can be a lot more. But also the great thing, we're very flexible, so we can also do sometimes less and have more time for ourselves, or have a longer weekend or so. So it's very flexible, and so I still have time for doing some blogs or some digging myself, or for some other hobbies, of course.
Yeah. So that time in the evening, that is quite expensive if the company wants to take that away, because that's where you blog, and that's where a possible MVP maybe can come from, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and also for me, it gives me a lot of new knowledge. You have the chance to dig deeper into a topic, or even discuss it with some other people, especially when you blog about, and then you get some feedback. And yeah, it's definitely great.
Yeah. So stay curious and blog stuff, because you learn from putting down on the paper, and that's very good. So, and that's for me, it's a playground. So when you blog stuff, maybe it's a solution that you build for a customer. Maybe it is a solution that you are going to build for a customer. Maybe it's just a new tech that you need to feel and you need to look into to get it to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So blogging, that's very important, I would say.
Yeah,
so
totally agree with that.
Keep doing that. So Florian, you became a official contributor to the LinkedIn group here, and this is why we're sitting here. We are interviewing all the OCs, and now you're one of them. So tell me a little about how, when Angel, he wrote to you and asked if you want to be a OC. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I was really happy. Wasn't expecting it, at least not at the time. I found the group, I would say, like beginning of last year or so. Then I thought, yeah, maybe I try to post some of my blogs once. I did that several times, and yeah, the feedback was really great. I was able to get in contact with a lot more people and discuss some topics. And yeah, then at some point, Damien reached to me out and Angel. And yeah, we talked about the group and how it would be to get an official contributor. And yeah, I was really honored to be. So yeah, it gave me a great push and a lot of motivation to do more slow posts. And yeah, it's great to see your work recognized.
Exactly. So before you got part of this LinkedIn group and you posted blogs, etc., did you get a lot of feedback, or did you actually see that there was a huge difference from when you weren't in the group until you got into the group?
Yeah, definitely to be in the group and not was a huge difference, especially in viewers of the blog. Before the blog was more or less for me, my co-workers and some customers. So just people who know or who I sent a link to. So and then with the possibility to post into the group, it was, yeah, the views skyrocketed in comparison to before. And yeah, it was really great.
Yeah. So this is what the group actually can. And well, we have 26,000 attendees in the group as we speak.
It's going up and up, definitely.
It's totally amazing. And
yeah,
we could have 50,000, but Angel, he is guarding the group, so we don't have like salespeople or recruiters and stuff in the group.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason why you get a lot of views on your posts, because the posts are really well selected, and sometimes you see like a post that does not fit into the group, and like 2 minutes later it's gone.
Yeah,
just cleans it up like at a glance of a zip, and everything is good again. So yeah, that's definitely great and makes this group very special.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really he really works hard on the group, and that really makes the difference here. So we don't have lots of random people doing random stuff. It's like, this is the topics, this is what you post about, this is what we're interested in, and that is just great.
Yeah, definitely all about tech and solutions and discussions or problems, but nothing else.
Exactly. So Florian, tell me about what kind of areas you've done Citrix and private cloud, and you also looked at Office 365 in the early days. But what do you really like to work with? Is that the MEM area, or is it the Microsoft 365 or all? Where are we?
Yeah, it's the moment definitely it is the MEM area. Like all over, like with Windows, Android, and iOS. Not so much macOS, or I would say not macOS, because we don't have a lot of customers in that area, and I'm even not a good user with like MacBooks, so it's better to give that part to someone else. But within Windows, iOS, and Android, definitely that's the main focus. Also on the articles on my blog. And sometimes other topics from the Microsoft 365 platform, like Exchange or Teams. In-house, we also do a lot of projects with Teams telephony. So that's also something we do. And all of those come hand in hand with like logic apps or other automations where you can automate stuff from, if there is a event in a calendar, then do that with Microsoft Teams or send something to the clients. So that's also great.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities. So it's hard to be expert on all fields, right?
Yeah, you can't be. You have.
It's like
give it focus.
Yeah, Microsoft 365 is so big. So we've actually split it up. So some are experts in the security of it, and some are experts in managing the devices. Not maybe not just iOS and Android, like a one path, and then Windows devices in another path, because it's still a different platform, you know. And phones is the dearest gimbal people have, you know, if you touch it, they will be so angry.
Yeah, definitely. In the end, also when you start to manage like iOS or Android devices, there's also a big difference between MDM from private personal devices or MIM. So that goes
that and
that way.
Exchange, you know, don't ruin people's emails.
Yeah, never. It's the most important part for everyone.
Yes. So that's when you work night shifts, that when you are in such areas. Yeah. So Florian, I want to ask you, you've made a lot of publications. I mentioned that in the beginning, and so much quality in it. And I would like to ask you if there's certain of the publications you've done recently that you're most proud of, and maybe you could name them, or maybe you could look at a demo of one of them, maybe.
Yeah, of course, definitely. One is not so recent. It's like one of the first bigger ones I did was with 𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘬𝘠, how you can do that with Intune. So it was like 1.5 years ago or so, but that one still gets a lot of view. And because of that, I started to try to make a tool. I call it the Intune Win32 deployer, where you can deploy 𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘬𝘠 or Winget applications with more or less one click, and depending on what you want to do. So it's, you give in the ID, it will create the Win32 application, package it to Intune Win, and uploads it and adds the dependency depending on if it's 𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘬𝘠 or Winget. For that, I definitely can do a demo.
It sounds almost too good for me. I'm like, oh, I can have my third-party patch management now fully automated by one click. Yeah,
that's the goal, to do it. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, and another one I did like 2 months ago was like, we have a lot of small and medium business customers, and as you may know, with business premium licensing, you don't have anything available, especially proactive remediations you can't use. So I did a script for that to have most of the functionality, because there's like just simple tasks. If a user installs Chrome by himself, you cannot guarantee the update circle is in use, so you can handle that with that.
Okay, that's clever. So if you don't have a license for proactive remediation, Florian has a fix for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's clever.
Yeah. So I will do the demo on the Intune Win32 deployer.
Yeah, I'm very eager to see that tool. I read the blog and I thought, yes.
Good. So I will share my screen. So here we go. Here now you see my endpoint manager. You all know that, I guess, with the application you're already in. You can download the Win32 deployer on my GitHub. We can put the link into the video or so.
Yeah, we can sure do that.
If you start that, it will load a UI. It won't win any design award, but the functionality, it functions. So that's the most important part.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So yeah, we will do a demo with a Winget application. It's very easy to that. You just click on Add Winget app, and then a pop-up comes out where you have to put in the Winget ID. It has to be the exact Winget ID. If you don't know that, you can click on Find ID online. Then you will be redirected to winget.run, where you can easily look out for the ID. I will do a simple demo with 7-zip. There the ID is just 7-zip.7-zip, so we don't have to look that up. Then you press OK. Now it will check in the background if this is a valid ID. If so, it will present you with a pop-up. Like, do you want to, the 7-zip is added, do you want to create the Intune Win file? depending on if you have the only create Intune Win button grayed out or clicked, it will just create the Intune Win file or it will upload it directly. Now, because the button is grayed out, it also will deploy it directly to my tenant. So I click yes. Now in the background, I have to do the login for my Intune administrator.
Okay, so this is not on behalf, but you're actually authenticating.
Yeah, you have to authenticate just.
So no principal app or principal enterprise app in the background. That's good.
Yeah, it's just to use as it is. So my goal was that customer can use it. So if he doesn't have a lot of know-how, so yeah, he just can use that. So I have to
really dependent on that phone nowadays, right? With that
you do.
request.
You do, and I turned on the do not disturb mode, so the push-up was not coming. So now in the background, the Intune Win was created and the upload for the 7-zip file starts. That shouldn't take long. It depends on the app package size, but because it's based on winget, it's more or less 1 to 3 kilobytes, so shouldn't take long. The longest time it takes is to get the feedback back from Intune that the app is uploaded. Now we have that and should already see the 7-zip app up here. Now it also checks if there is a dependency against the Windows Package Manager. Theoretically, the package manager or app installer is installed on current Windows systems, but if you use Autopilot, the winget or 𝘠𝘰𝘮𝘬 isn't present at the time Autopilot is run. This is why also the Windows Package Manager is getting deployed, so it can be added as a dependency in the app and will be installed during Autopilot.
Okay,
so,
that was clever.
Now we have the Windows Package Manager also in here. And the last thing we have to do is to do the assignment, and that would be it. Then you can have 7-zip on your devices with the maintain of winget.
Really, really nice. I like that, Florian. So I like to ask in the background when you upload that package, how have you created all those modules yourself, or are you dependent on other PowerShell modules?
The module for uploading is dependent on the, how is it called? Yeah, it's not a module for myself. It's the Intune Win uploader.
Okay, so that's
we can find that really fast.
It's from the gallery.
Yeah, it's from the gallery, right?
Yeah.
So it should start. So we have the module in here. Yeah, it's an Intune Win32 app module.
Yeah, really cool. So the one who created that, Nikolaj Andersen, right?
Yeah, right.
He's the guy. Yeah, I actually did an interview with him yesterday.
Ah, great. So yeah, it's a great module, and it definitely works.
Yeah, it really does. And he knows there's a couple of bugs in it, and he's going to fix it eventually. But yeah, he's a very busy man, and 2 kids and juggling work and.
Yeah, yeah, it's never easy to maintain a module in a cloud environment where you cannot be sure every version, everything works the same. So it's changed from day to day.
But nice to see that his tool is actually getting used out there. And this seems very, very simple. And I really like it because it is simple. Great job, Florian.
Thank you.
So have you been into programming much, or is this just a hobby for you? Like you learned it yourself? I saw there was it a .NET project you had, or is it pure PowerShell?
It's pure PowerShell.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not much into programming. I had 1 or 2 classes my apprenticeship, but that was it. That was more like C and assembler. So not very useful for things like that.
Machine coding.
Yeah. And after that, yeah, I started with PowerShell and started with small scripts, and yeah, more or less learned it by myself. And yeah, you can do great stuff with PowerShell, and it can be simple. And also with the PowerShell gallery, you have a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. And then you can always tend to look at some of Maurice Daly or Nikolaj Andersen or David. They have all sorts of OSD Cloud and
yeah, that's great as well.
There's so many great tools that is built on PowerShell and have graphic user interface, and you can always download those and look what they do. It's
quite
reverse amazing.
Engineer them. Yeah,
exactly. So lots of great examples out there in how to make great graphical user interface as well. So yeah, really nice demo, Florian, and really nice tool. Thank you for that. So Florian, any advice, tip and trick you would like to give to the viewers? How can they improve in what they do?
Yeah, there were lately a lot of blogs about the dev tenant you can get for free for 90 days with an E5 licensing. I would definitely recommend to get one of those, or if you have licenses, use those. But definitely get yourself a playground to test your things out, to just try and error. That's how you learn or for me at least, it's how to learn the fastest. So that's a great one. And use the Windows Sandbox feature if you have to try out some PowerShell scripts you never tried before, or if you have to try out the application deployment, because that way you don't crap up your PC and you just can click the X on top and you're good to go again.
Yeah, that's some really, really good advice.
Yeah.
So Florian, that was a pleasure to have you on this interview, and I really hope the viewers got to learn you, to know you better, and yeah, we've seen some of your tools, and I can hear and I think that we will see much more of Florian on the LinkedIn channel, and with all these great blog posts and great tooling you're building, just amazing.
Thank you.
Keep up the good job, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you too.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.